Robin Williams would have said, "Good morning, Vietnam." Richardson would have said, "Good morning, everybody. Buongiorno." I'll just say, "Good morning, everybody." Looking at the papers, Mundo Deportivo says, "The Night of the Shark." That's Ferran Torres' nickname. More of that in a minute. Lamine menaces the tyranny of Paris Saint-Germain. More of that tomorrow. Matchday 5 was a weekend of red cards and red mist in La Liga. Some thunder and lightning too. Well, the teams in red missed out, generally speaking. Let's expel the expulsions first. The 5 red cards came for Rice and Witzel at Girona, who lost again, pumped by Liga newcomers Levante, rock bottom, and that's a head-to-head that they're not turning round if the two are locked together in the last relegation spot come May. Then for Dani Vivian of Athletic, those red and white Basques lost again. By the way, that's his umpteenth red card recently. And for Alexander Sorloth of Atleti, but Los Rojos, who missed out there, were Mallorca, who their coach Jagoba Arrasate moaned failed to beat 10-man Atleti when they were there for the taking, according to him. On the other hand, Simeone woke up to Diario AS announcing in September that Atleti had signed out from the title race already, 5 points behind leaders Madrid, and this is now officially Los Colchoneros' worst start to a Liga campaign under the past his sell-by date Cholo Simeone. Where did you hear that first? Yes, here. P.S. You might have very little sympathy for a big Jack Reacher doppelganger unit like Sorloth, but no way was his challenge on Raillo, the Mallorca centre-half, anything more than a yellow card. You heard that here first too. VAR intervened when there was patently no clear and obvious error, so the refereeing resolution, which they announced to us so proudly in August, is already been treated with derision and disrespect. In fact, it's in tatters. Then there was a red for the French fullback for the Reds of Pamplona, Osasuna, whose Rossier was sent off with his team leading 1-0 at Villarreal, but then the Yellow Submarine eventually torpedoed the Bull Runners, partly with the help of a debut goal from their Georgian striker Mikotadze, who I won't need to remind you, will I? Was in my La Liga 11 of players who weren't here last season. Good choice, Bumper. The Red Mists. Okay, let's get on to them. There's a tale. Vinicius misunderstood the fact that he was being taken off for his pal, Rodrigo, in the rehydration break at home to Espanyol in the second half. But when the penny dropped, so did his face. Last year, Vinicius was finishing runner-up to Rodri in the Ballon d'Or award. This year, he's not played the entire 90 minutes once for Xabi Alonso at Real Madrid. He's been benched twice. And although he's continuing to pop up influentially, for example, he created the winning penalty against Marseille on Tuesday, and he helped set up Mbappe for one of his 2 goals against Espanyol that keep Madrid top. He still showed how miffed he was while being subbed, and then by stomping off down the tunnel immediately afterwards. At the end of the game, which was a pretty comfortable 2-0 win for Madrid, when Alonso went to try and make the peace, Vinicius wasn't really having any of it, and fair play to the coach, he admitted afterwards, maybe I took him off too soon. Maybe I took Vinicius off just when he was having his best minutes. A peace offering? Maybe, but right now Vinny is in an I peace on your peace offering, boss. That's his mood, I think. And look, before we go on, let me lend you a helping hand. This edition of Revista de la Liga is brought to you by Surfshark VPN. I use Surfshark VPN for internet security, and I have a great deal to help you do the same and support us at the same time. A virtual private network protects your online life. It stops websites tracking you. It stops you being overcharged simply because of your location. And Revista Socios, it means you can use your existing subscriptions to watch football even when you're traveling internationally, for example. No more dodgy streams, enough of them, down with them. Now, I just tell Surfshark VPN to change my location to Spain, and then wherever I am in the world, I can access the same games as I would if I were sitting at home on my sofa in Barcelona, something I do very little of these days. So if you're visiting Spain to see your favourite team, then watch out. Some websites change the price that they show you depending on your location, but not with our friends Surfshark VPN. It's a secret travel hack that will save you money. Other benefits? Yeah, there are. Surfshark also provide additional security through other products including Surfshark Antivirus and Surfshark Search. They should sponsor El Tiburon Ferran Torres, but they are a safe ad-free search engine. So join me, help us by adding Surfshark VPN to your defense. Ba-boom. Go to surfshark.com/Revista4 and you will get 4 months of extra protection as a bonus. Plus, you'll be supporting this very beautiful but slightly underfunded show. So make the best signing for your internet defense and claim 4 extra months of protection by going to surfshark.com/Revista, then the number 4. And so, just like magic, goodbye, Mr. Ben, on with the show. Back to Atleti and their red mist, because that was from Julian the Spider Alvarez, who, in plain sight of TV cameras and with their mics trained on him, snuffled, "It's always me who subbed first," after he'd missed an early penalty at Mallorca, then had a discreet match, and watched Simeone's substitute Conor Gallagher score the opener, which our lovely pirate Murici header equalised. Ahoy, ahoy! Avast behind. P.S. Another one of my 11 players who weren't here last season, Jan Virgili, set up that busker of a goal with a neat in-swinging ball into the box. Lovely stuff, Jan. Keep it up. You want more red mist? You really do? On a Monday? Okay. Well, this was a lower profile but much more heated one. Rayo and Celta drew 1-1 in a very exciting match, brilliantly commentated by Tim Lee, at Vallecas, where European football is now just a couple of weeks away. But when Inigo Perez subbed off his fiery Uruguayan left-back Pacha Espina, and then threw on first-choice Catalan first-teamer Pep Chavarria, Espina lost his shit big time. He breathed fire, stomped, waved his arms around like an out-of-control windmill, was calmed and counselled on the touchline by club senior citizen Oscar Trejo, who's seen it all but doesn't get too many starts these days. In fact, the Argentinian had the Uruguayan in a River Plate body lock in a hug which was not affectionate but aimed at preventing and beating up their 37-year-old coach, who's probably younger than Trejo. And just to finish the show, Espino then hoofed the TV microphone right up in the air and 15 feet down the touchline. Ooh la la. Credit to Inigo though, Pep Chavarria was on the pitch for under 5 minutes before sparking the left-wing move, which brought a brilliant De Frutos equaliser, one of the goals of the weekend. So, well done, Rayo coach. They love a goal, but they love a left-wing movement even more in Vallecas, Madrid's rebel neighbourhood. Get behind them. Betis beat La Real back on track. Elche won the Battle of the Newbies, 1-0. Andre Silva defeating increasingly injury-bedeviled Oviedo, who have Barcelona next up midweek. Pete Jensen's tip for the top, Eta Eyong, scored again, well done Pete, when Levante sliced through Girona. And it was Valencia who beat the Vivian-less Athletic Club. Vivian was off borrowing a cup of sugar, please. Hello, fans of the young ones everywhere, which is probably about 2 of you. Anyway, made me laugh. Which only leaves the big match on Sunday night, where there wasn't red mist, but there was Donner und Blitzen, thunder and lightning. But first, well, our metal collectors rattle past. Let me say, these Monday Revista James Richardson rip-off Gazzetta alla Sport episodes are always free. But everything else we do on here, my post-match videos, from stadiums across Spain, my live videos after big matches where you guys ask the questions, and my weekend preview podcast with Pete Jensen, that's all for the socios, members of Revista de la Liga, who kindly, generously keep us alive financially, and we try to give them back something big in return for their investment. So there are 2 ways to join. A monthly membership is £3.99. Come on. But if you get the annual pass, you save about 14 quid. And then you're good here right the way through to the World Cup final, where I'll be covering Spain. Please become a socio right now. Do it right now. Get access to everything. Join the crew, support us. The link is in the description. So right now, back to Barcelona to tie things up. The champions are beginning to pick up steam, I think. They pumped Getafe 3-0, but that's not the full story, as ever. The game was nearly postponed because the orange alert, like clockwork, brought monsoon rain, which thankfully was brief but nonetheless spectacular, and that was followed by still more frightening sheet lightning, like the onomatopoeia. The city was chaos, and a wee bit further up the Mediterranean, in southern France, Marseille-Paris Saint-Germain, the French Classico, was postponed from Sunday to Monday night because of the brutal weather which was hitting the region. Anyway, the real story of the night to begin with was Marcus Rashford arriving 2 minutes late and then being dropped. But it was 2 minutes late in the morning, not for the match. He had been due to keep his place, but the Sunday morning activation jog around was scheduled for 11 a.m. The players were ordered to report for 10 a.m. Now, Marcus, a new guy, an Englishman in a foreign country, dealing in a foreign language, or a foreign language or two if you think that there's Spanish and Catalan on the go here, was doing some FC Barcelona online registration task, and as a result, arrived 2 minutes late for the 10 a.m. call time. Not for training, for the 1 hour before training. Handsome Hansi Flick, as he's already done over the last 2 seasons to Iñaki Peña, Jules Koundé and Rafinha, dropped Rashford from the starting lineup. The Englishman was going to be in at kickoff. And then the club briefed the media, off the record, but very clearly. Ferran, the Shark Torres, hit 2 goals, just like last weekend against Valencia, then hit the bar, missed out on a hat-trick for the second weekend in a row, but is tied for second top Liga scorer with Morici behind Mbappe, who's tucked 5 away and is scoring at a rate of better than 1 per game for Madrid. Watch out, rivals. So no red missed from Flick, who brought Rashford on at half-time, and the 27-year-old proceeded to have his best Barcelona performance, by far, significantly better all round than at Newcastle, where he got headlines for scoring twice, but this was better football, and he produced a Bobby Dazzler of an assist, second in a week, for Dani Olmo to make it 3-0 to Barcelona. So, if the rabid English media go on a Rashford hunt today because they're too feeble to go and find proper stories and fail to report it as a no big deal event, which failed to prevent an Englishman abroad continuing to look like an excellent footballer, maybe the excellent footballer he should have been these last few years. And if it fails to dent this event, the good relationship between him and his demanding German coach, then you can tell the mudslingers and the shit-stirrers in the English media to all go and take a flying fuck to themselves and tell them that's official from me. Stay tuned, more soon.